Everyone's still buzzing about Sears and Stevenson saying no to the NBA and yes to trying to win a basketball national championship. Game time set for Alabama versus USF. We'll talk about that night kickoff. The football game, college football from EA Sports, leaking more details, the $1 Million Band, future schedules. We can talk about that and more right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. That's a way of saying roll tide. Get in that comment section. Comment. Love to hear from you guys. And don't forget, we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort over in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's get this party started. Here's your invitation. And let me say this to you guys. Roll tide. All right, I'm Mick Gillespie, and that's Big Elmo, but you know him as Brett Elmore from WJLX Radio in Jasper. Great to see you, buddy, and great to see all of you guys as well. I'm at Broadcaster Mick. He's at Brett Elmore Show. Man, we're still buzzing about this. The Sears and Stevenson return to Tuscaloosa means so much for Alabama.
Yeah, it's huge. I think the Auburn fans I saw where they rolled Toomer's Corner yesterday, and I think it's all because of Sears and Stevenson. Actually, I think they won. I think they won the golf championship. But anyway, they're a golf school now. But I thought it was because we're getting Sears and Stevenson back. Everyone's talking about this, not only in the state of Alabama but nationally, as Alabama's on the radar to go back to the Final Four and in the talks to the national championship. And that's always a lot of fun to talk about.
Going to be one heck of a basketball season, and it's going to take a while for it to get here. But I guess the next thing for the Crimson Tide is, just going out and building interest into the program, which they already have done. We're expecting that there's going to be an announcement on an arena coming up. This is as hot as I've ever seen Alabama basketball. And I think people are really excited. I mean, it's going to be a great transition from football to basketball just because of what's going on right now, where you're talking about a team that legitimately has a chance to win a national championship. With that said, let's talk some football because obviously that's why most of us are here. And now the game time is set for USF at Bama, 7:00 on ESPN. It's like every game's a night game right now.
Yeah, so we open up with Western Kentucky at 6:00 now. USF's a night game. We travel to Wisconsin, which will be a morning game, that 11:00 kickoff. And then Georgia on the road under the lights at 6:30.
What do you think about night games? Your thought? I mean, are you a night game guy or do you like the day games? I mean, we've gotten into this before. Was 2:30 perfect for you for a college football game?
2:30 is normally perfect for me, but if I had to choose between the 11 and the night game, I'm going for the night game.
Yeah, you like that instead of the 11 a.m. games.
Yeah, the 11 a.m. games, it's like the last shot out of a Roman candle for my day.
Yeah, right.
Like you're shooting a bottle rocket.
Well,
it's like my day's done after the Bama game. I'm like, I'll watch some football, but, there's nothing else for me to look forward to that day.
Seems like there's a lot of upsets in those really early games.
Yeah, and that's another reason why. And who wants to get up early and get that tailgate started at 6:00? You start setting up those tents and everything, and then you got to tear them down right after the game, and that just blows your whole day. If you have a 6:00 kickoff, Mick, you could get up. You can still get up at 6 or 7 o'clock. Start drinking some Bloody Marys.
Mm-hmm.
Get your day started, and then by the time 6 o'clock rolls around, you could be asleep on the couch and miss the entire game.
Yeah, right. I know it's happened to people before. As far as the radio tailgate show, we love the night games just because we're on like right in the middle of the day,
Right,
so
right.
when Alabama football coverage, we're on then. But I like being on in the morning too. We're on across the state. So if you guys don't know that, make sure that you, check the market and, there's a chance that you're able to hear that 2 hours every game day. And then we get on afterwards and talk about the game. Those night games, sometimes I'm a little, I've had a few drinks.
Inebriated, you mean?
I'll tell you, man, it's
Are you talking intoxicated?
I mean, well, it's a long day of football. I mean, that's what owning your own channel is. Look, I'm going to drink beer and watch football on Saturday, right? But you get to like 7:00 and then you can go ahead and bank on 8, 9, 10, 10:30 before you get on the air. And then I got to take everyone's calls. I mean, I got to hear what Iceman has to say. I need to know what Adam's talking about over in Georgia, all of our friends. So,
So in other words, mark it down right now. Those first 4 after shows, 3 out of the 4 are going to be really, really entertaining.
Yeah, that's good. I'll tell you what, the games are going to be entertaining too, because I don't know what to expect with the offense and the defense. I'm really concerned about the secondary. The only way that Alabama is going to be able to overcome that inexperience is with a good pass rush. You don't have Dallas Turner. You don't have Will Anderson Jr. I mean, so you're talking about 2 premier pass rushers and tacklers, and it's going to have to be a new cast of players. If you got the talent, you're talking about a bunch of 5 stars. How long will it take the young guys in the secondary and the transfers to come in and gel? And the defense was just underwhelming at the 8A game. So I'm concerned about that. But then I flip the page and I look at the offense, and I feel like we're going to score points. I think that Jalen Milroe is going to be a better quarterback working with Kalen DeBoer and Nick Sheridan and, Jamarcus Shepard and those guys. And I just really think that. I think that this offense is going to be one where you score points. But we've always been known for defense, so we'll see.
Stop worrying, Mick. We're going to be just fine. Trust me. By the time that first game rolls around, we're about ready to steamroll someone. We're going to be fine. No, I know your concerns. In all seriousness, we've talked about them before, but I think when that first game rolls around, man, it's going to be electrifying and it's going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a fun season to watch, and we'll see what happens.
Dennis Dodd put out the CBS pre-spring top 25, and it's interesting. He's got Georgia number 1, Ohio State number 2, Oregon number 3, Texas number 4, and Bama number 5. So disrespected in my mind having Alabama out of the top 5 and with USA Today, but CBS has Bama 5, Ole Miss 6, Missouri 7. I'm not buying the Missouri hype. Notre Dame 8, Penn State 9, LSU 10.
I'm going to buy into that Missouri hype. I'm going to buy into that. And I'm also going to buy into the fact that we've got an expanded playoff. So whether we finish 5th or 7th, we're still in the game. So, it's a whole new world now. And with that expanded playoff, as long as you're in that game, anything can happen when it comes postseason play. But 5th, that may be pretty accurate. I would, as of this point, I would say we're probably right there.
All those players that Ole Miss bought from the other programs, premier players, I'm surprised they're not number 1. I mean, I get the fact that Georgia has Kirby and they're tough to beat. Sure. Alabama has been the only team that's been able to beat Georgia over the last, 3 years. But with all of that said, maybe they're the new Alabama. Maybe they're finally he's kind of past his mentor, or at least I wouldn't say past him. Maybe that's a wrong choice of words, but you know what I mean. Like he's kind of at the top of the mountain now. There's no Saban to spoil his day, but I really feel like this Alabama team is going to have a chip on their shoulder when they play Georgia. That was like 4th game of the season. And look, I know Kirby probably heard me say that, and he's calling right now to disagree with worried about Alabama. But Kalen DeBoer has talked about not only making the college football playoff, but getting a bye in the college football playoff. So I love what he's saying all the right things. He seems really focused, and I can't wait for kickoff. Now, a lot of you guys can't wait for kickoff of this EA Sports, the college football game that's coming out finally, right? College Football 25. And they automatically update the future non-conference schedule, which it's crazy to me. The technology now, can you imagine when we were kids having a video game that would just like update the schedule for you for like 10 years down the road? But that's where we are. I mean, and when college football was last out, it was the technology for video games was so different. Think about the roster management that you can do now with this, updating the schedules, being able to tweak things during the season from their vantage point. It's like you can constantly build on what you're doing and make it better and better. And I thought that was really cool, to see Alabama and Virginia Tech are going to play in 2034. It's like, oh, wow. I'm going to get there in dynasty mode.
Yeah. What in the hell are you talking about? I could barely get my games to even play when I was, I'd have to blow the, and I'd put them in there and I'd be like, come on. There it is. Yes. It's totally different today than it was back then. But hey, man, modern technology, gotta love it, especially when it works like this, and especially when it's an EA Sports game that features college football. Bring it on, man.
Well, another thing that you're going to have in the game, Brett, is the $1 Million Band. They'll be spelling out Bama. They'll be playing their songs. Will they play Rammer Jammer after the game? Will they jam out to Sweet Home Alabama? How about Dixieland Delight? You know what I mean? Like, how realistic do you want this thing? What's your favorite song that they do?
Rammer Jammer.
Yeah.
Gotta have it, man. Gotta have it. And it should be in there. Does the band get any money for this?
I think that theirs is part of the allotment that Alabama got.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's great to have the bands in there. I wish they would start showing the band some at halftime. I guess that's just my old school way, but I love the bands.
Yeah, me too. I think it's what it's all about. All right, guys, look, show's always brought to you by Pearl River Resort over in Choctaw, Mississippi. When we come back from this quick timeout, it's going to be time for Big Sexy Elmo to take over.
To Pearl River Resort. They call him Big Sexy, coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy, throwing out those Alabama thoughts, sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. It gives you the XP, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
Oh, okay. Final day of the month, Mick.
Yep. This is it. Got to pay the mortgage tomorrow.
Yeah, bills are due. Today's May 31st. Yeah, those bills are due. They come every single month.
They'll take the money today, though, if I'll pay them.
Yeah, if they'll pay them. See, I go to the post office. I do like Fred Seffer did. Put them back in the box. Today's a big day, Mick. Joe Willie Namath is 81 today.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I think that he's still the biggest star that the NFL's ever had. And
The coolest.
Well, the coolest, but I mean, I know it's like Tom Brady, and I mean, I love the Tom Brady roast, but just I almost feel like guys like John Elway have like kind of just faded off. But and there's a lot of great quarterbacks that are in that list, but he was like the first like, just mega star. Had a show, had a restaurant, bar. He was so cool with the fur coats. Joe Namath lived it, just lived it, and still around, man. And he's won the only Super Bowl the Jets have ever won.
He's the man, and he's 81 today, NFL Hall of Famer. Also, another guy that I consider to be a GOAT is celebrating a birthday today. He's 94 today, and that's Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah. What a badass, man. I mean, his movies are he's so old now. I mean, like I don't think he's ever going to be an actor again, but he's like behind the scenes. But the movie Forgiven or Unforgiven was amazing. About that old gunslinger. Yeah. Dirty Harry movies were great. He was look, the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, you can go through, but I don't think that we really have replaced him as like the last guy. It was like kind of like John Wayne was one of those guys, and him, and maybe Bruce Willis a little bit, Liam Neeson, but Neeson. But I think that he is a badass, and he was like the mayor in Carmel, California for a while too. So he does a little bit of everything, but to see that guy still going at it, it's crazy.
Gran Torino was a great recent movie from him as well.
Yeah.
And The Mule. Have you seen The Mule?
No, I haven't seen that one.
That's a great movie.
Is he in it?
Yes, must see.
Really? So he's still acting?
That was 2018.
Okay. Wow, man. And you said how old is he again?
He's 90 what did I say? 92?
Yeah, 92. So he's like George Burns. You remember George Burns, like the guy smoking cigars with the little round glasses?
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. 94. I'm sorry.
94, man. Gosh, my grandmother lived into her 90s.
Yeah.
And she was up until she died, Ma, from the tandem of Ma and Daddy John. She was like with it, and then just fell, had a hip surgery, and that was it, God rest her soul. One of the great people in life, taught you all those valuable lessons that as you get older, you look back and you're like, man, should have paid closer attention.
Yeah. Should have followed that advice. Colin Farrell is 48 today.
Another SNL guy.
Do you wear your sunglasses at night, Mr. Corey Hart?
I love Corey Hart. I've told, so sometimes guys like Brett will be on the radio and I'm listening and I'll just like text him like for a request, and the Corey Hart is from Canada in the Canadian Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He's got a couple good, really, really good songs.
He is 62 today.
Yep. Don't mistake him for the Corey Hart that was an actor.
Right, exactly. Today's holidays. Today is, I'm sure you'll take part in this one, National Macaroon Day.
Yeah, I'm allergic to tree nuts.
Right, exactly.
Thanks, buddy. Mostly pistachios are the bad ones, but that one could be. I just don't know because I've never eaten it.
Yeah. Well, don't try it, okay?
Okay.
We'll National Smile Day. Just participate in that.
You know what? I think a smile goes a long way. I'm all about positive energy. I think you guys know you're here with us every day. I like to be around people that are happy because it makes me happy. I wish that I was more positive than I am. I think I'm pretty positive, but like if I'm around negative people, that'll wear off on me too. Mm-hmm. So a smile is a long way to having a good day.
It is. And today is also National Speak in Sentences Day.
Always an issue for me. Yeah, always an issue for me.
Speak in sentences. On this date, 1884, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg patents flaked cereal.
Yeah, my son picked up Frosted Flakes. And I was like, put that down. And he's like, I said, because you're not going to eat that. I'm going to buy it and you're not going to eat it. And why? Because he eats Apple Jacks and he eats Cookie Crisp and he eats, what is the other one with the Lucky Charms? You know, that's actually a healthy cereal and he's not going to eat it. I'm going to spend $6 for a big box of that for it to sit and not get eaten.
Yeah.
Do you eat Cookie Crisp? Do you eat Cookie Crisp?
Yes, he eats all the good cereals.
and then it's like, I don't really buy the groceries, but it's like, then you wonder why he's like, swinging off the chandelier, at like $7.50, well, we just spent him the whole thing of sugar, a bowl of milk and sugar.
1969, Stevie Wonder releases My Cherie Amour.
Yeah, well, it's still one of my all-time favorites. We've talked about this on the show before. Stevie Wonder's so talented. Can you imagine being blind and still finding a way to have a great life? Talking about smiling, like just finding the positive in having a disability like that. He and Ray Charles were always amazing to me in that aspect. And I would never want to have to go through that, but to go through that and yet still, kill it in life is unbelievable.
You're right. 1990, the TV sitcom Seinfeld premiered.
Yeah, Seinfeld. I'm not a Seinfeld guy. But I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. So it's the same guy, Larry David, but he's himself. And it's just a little bit more uncomfortable, bad language, everything I love.
Yeah.
Funny.
And finally today, 2014, one of the all-time greats came out musically. Psy's Gangnam Style becomes the first video to reach 2 billion views on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, we should do a Sweet 16 of the worst songs ever, Can you imagine like Achy Breaky Heart and Gangnam Style and the Margarita, what is it?
The Macarena.
Macarena, just those awful that get stuck in your head. They play them all the time songs, honestly, Beat It was that song for a while, but I can actually listen to it again where they just play it. Oh, Ice Ice Baby, put that in that list, but I mean, that may be the worst one ever. That may be the worst one of those types of songs.
That's a pretty bad one, and he made a bunch of money.
He's rich on that. He's like, so what?
That's what happened this day.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy your Friday. We will talk to you tomorrow unless something breaks before that. But have a great weekend. And don't forget, Alabama has some huge football recruits that are in Tuscaloosa this weekend. And we're going to get you updated on that. We'll talk a lot more recruiting tomorrow. But I want to thank everyone at Pearl River Resort for making the show happen. As always, roll tide, everybody. And we will be back at it again really soon.